For the past 18 years, the Pittsburgh Penguins had the sole redevelopment rights to the site where the Civic Arena once stood. Those rights just recently expired, now raising questions about what might come next. For months, Pittsburgh's Action News 4 intern Lance Wilhelm has been talking to residents and looking into the significant history of that area. Now he's giving us a look at the past and the future of the Lower Hill.
If you're young enough, all you've ever really known of the Lower Hill District is all these parking lots. But 70 years ago, this area was filled with hundreds of homes and businesses before the city demolished them to make room for the Civic Arena. The Pittsburgh Penguins had since promised to redevelop these 28 acres with projects like the First National Bank building and this new concert venue going up behind me. But the vast majority of this land is still just a sea of parking lots. Now, with the Penn's redevelopment rights expired, the Lower Hill enters a new era of potential change.
You can look back and see the bulldozers, the dust.
The memories are vivid for artist Carlos F. Peterson.
I remember walking from Lexi School back home, and the dust on walking to my doorway was thick, powdery, like baby powder.
He watched his neighborhood razed to rubble from the roof of his childhood home, seen in this sketch of his.
But our house was about right here.
Peterson and his family were some of the roughly 8,000 Lower Hill residents whose homes were demolished in the 1950s.
There were stores all the way up through here. All that's gone. I mean, that was part of the economic part of the neighborhood. It's done.
Once a bustling neighborhood, Pittsburgh labeled hundreds of homes and businesses in the Lower Hill District as slums, leveling them to make room for the Civic Arena, the former home of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
It was part of that growing up that got broken away. It got chipped away, right? Literally demolished.
Now in his 70s, Peterson dedicated a life's worth of artwork, drawings, photos, and sculptures to illustrating the pain he felt when the city decimated the Lower Hill for the Civic Arena's construction.
You could call it a curse. They have to be able to put that stuff down on paper. You're not just drawing it to make a pretty picture. You're drawing from memory, you're drawing from experience, you're drawing from whatever hurt and pain there was, even what joy there was.
And it wasn't only homes that were lost. The Hill was the cultural seed of Pittsburgh, home to historic jazz clubs, the stop for top musicians between New York and Chicago. But that scene faded when the Lower Hill was destroyed.
I hate to say gutted it, but I'm sure it just cut it so it didn't seem to exist, kind of, you know what I mean? It erased it.
The Civic Arena was demolished in 2012, and since 2007, the Pittsburgh Penguins had the sole redevelopment rights for the Lower Hill.
But a lot of what we're doing as an organization is to reinvest in the city and rebuild this neighborhood.
The Penguins promise to right some of the wrongs of the 1950s displacement.
The community is absolutely right to feel frustrated, to be upset at the Pens and at all of us as a collective, to be quite frank, because there have been promises made, promises not necessarily kept.
But 70 years since the Lower Hill's destruction, and after nearly 20 years of the Penguins pledging new developments, most of which never ended up happening, the vast majority of the 28 acres is still just a sea of parking lots.
I think they made a lot of money off of a parking lot and did not fulfill all the goals and objectives that we were worked on and that we were hoping to fulfill.
Now, with the Penn's development rights expiring just a couple months ago, the Lower Hill enters a new era of potential change in the hands of city government.
That's what it once looked like, where the Lower Hill District went straight into downtown.
Councilman Daniel Lavelle, who represents the Hill District, wants the Lower Hill to go back to serving the community it was taken from as soon as possible.
All the wrongs of the past cannot be righted. We have to acknowledge that. Every sin that happened will not be fixed in this one development. But we certainly can do as much as possible to ensure that whatever development occurs in a way that is equitable, occurs in a way that is beneficial to Hill District residents, to the African American community, and to the city at large.
Lavelle expects action on the site within 2 years, but even with growing hope for what's next for the Lower Hill.
This was here. I remember this building, right, before they tore it down.
Peterson wants his art to remind future generations of what once was.
I'm hoping that they would see that there was people with feelings lived there. That's what I want people to understand. It's for them to see.
Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reached out to the Penguins for an interview for this story. They gave me this statement. The Penguins remain committed to the vision for inclusive development in the Lower Hill and are proud of the meaningful progress achieved in recent years with community leaders despite challenging economic circumstances. Following the expiration of the option agreement, the organization will stay engaged in the city's plans for the area and continue to be a collaborative partner in advancing future development. Development rights now revert back to the Urban Redevelopment Authority and Sports Exhibition Authority, both arms of city government. Covering Allegheny County from the Hill District, Lance Wilhelm, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.